Hello, everybody. Nik Hobbs here for Sky Sports. Thank you very much for joining us. We have got a real treat for you today because we are speaking to the man who we've all been speaking about, haven't we, for the last couple of months? The man who re-emerged back into our lives a couple of months ago in London, Colby Covington. There he is. Colby, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, brother. Thanks for having me on the podcast, man. I love everything about, UK, the people. Just, of course, we have differences in the food and the weather. The weather doesn't cooperate sometimes, but, I'm doing great. Can't complain. Living the American dream out here in the beautiful, state of Florida and the city of Miami. So can't complain. Life is good. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. Look, obviously you've got the weather. You live in Florida. You're gonna have the weather on pretty much anybody. When it comes to food, though, I mean, we get a bad rep for food. You're in a country, you guys eat cheese out of a spray can, right?
There's no lies detected there. There's definitely a lot of people that are doing that. So, I don't know. I couldn't find a good meal when I was in UK. I don't know. Maybe you got some good recommendations next time I'm in London, but it was scarce out there. I couldn't find any good food.
Well, if you turn up unannounced, you're never going to get a good tour guide. So let us know next time, Colby. We'll be glad to take you out to some nice places. Let's start off with congratulations. I saw you got your black belt in jiu-jitsu, so that's a hell of an achievement, man.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming. I feel like I've been black belt level for the last decade plus, over 10 years. I've been wrestling for 29 years. I've been doing grappling for 18 years. So, I put in my time. I've earned my stripes. I didn't earn it the easy way. I didn't go to a school and like tell the black belt, pay off the black belt instructor to give me a black belt. No, that's not how it is. It was blood, sweat, and tears. I put in the work every day in the gym, and now I'm reaping the benefits, and just another accomplishment in my long storied history filled career.
A lot of MMA fighters, once they start fighting professionally, they'll put the gi in the closet and they'll never go back to it again. What made you stick with it?
Yeah, it's not that I stuck with it. I definitely roll gi from time to time, and I like to get in the gi just to feel, the grips and the lapel and just the different movements that you have when you're in the gi. But for the most part, we're training no gi because no fight, you're sweaty and you have no shirt on. So it's completely different than having a gi and being able to grab lapels and just the grips that they have with the gi is just completely different. So you can't do that in the fight. So it's not realistic. So it doesn't make sense to train with it. So, I don't really get into the gi too often.
Cool, cool. Right. This is a smooth segue here because we're going to talk about a different kind of belt, the UFC Gold, the one you're chasing down, the one you want to get your hands on in the next few months. Let's quickly go back before we look forward. How did you manage to keep being in London a secret? Because there was media everywhere and you kind of arrived unannounced and then we just saw you pop up on the scales. How did you manage it?
I learned a great lesson from my friend Little Wayne. He sat me down one time. He was like, Colby, man, real G's move in silence, like lasagna. So,
Lasagna.
I had to move in silence. I didn't want no one to know I was there. I'm a company man. So, I'm all about the company. And I know they wanted to be a big secret. They wanted to reveal the big news that I was there and I was weighing in. And I've been keeping myself ready in case anybody backed out in that fight because we wanted to deliver a good show to the UK fans, man. The people of London are so passionate, so electric about fighting. So, it was an honor just to be in the O2 Arena. I mean, walking out there to hear, the fans of that arena, when I walked past that curtain to hear how electric they were, literally, it sounded louder than when I walked out to Madison Square Garden when I headlined the Garden. And the Garden, when I did it, it was the fourth highest gate in the history of the company or in the history of the arena. So above Rolling Stones, above Muhammad Ali, above Hulkamania, all these greats. And no, Colby Chaos Covington at the top of the bill, MSG. And so to go into the O2 Arena and feel that electricity that was more alive than MSG, it was beautiful, which is why I was so looking forward to giving the fans of London and the fans of UK a title fight over there. But there's only one man to blame because the UFC and Colby Chaos Covington tried to make that fight happen. But there's only one man to blame, Leon Scott, Mumble Mouth.
Right. Let's talk about Leon then. He's made it clear he doesn't want to fight you. Why do you believe that is?
It sounds like a man that's not very confident in his abilities, Nick. You know, I mean, he wanted to fight the guy he just gave a 50-44 in a soda to, the guy that's retired now. He's Street Judas Masvidal. Why is he begging to fight a guy he gave a 50-44 in a soda to? I've been at the top of the world, you know, for the last 6-7 years. No one can say they've been up here that long and stayed consistent and kept winning world titles. So, you know, oh, big deal. He beat Marty. Oh, yeah, I beat Marty too. I beat him in Madison Square Garden. All the fans in Madison Square Garden knew I beat him that night. So I am the champ. I'm the biggest draw in the division. I am the A side. I mean, there's a reason Leon Scott talks about fumbling the bag, because that's all he does with his career is fumbles the bag. So it doesn't really matter, Nick, what Leon wants. He doesn't run the company. He doesn't call the shots. So you think when they sold the UFC for $4 billion a couple years ago, they're like, oh yeah, let's go to one of our fighters. Oh, Leon, what do you think we should do? Should we sell the company? How should we run our company? So, you know, no, that's not how it works. This fight will happen. I know for sure I'm fighting for the undisputed world title my next fight, Nick. I don't know if it'll be Leon. I hope he shows up, because I do want to dethrone him and show that he's not that good. But, you know, it could be somebody else. So, you know, hopefully he shows up, though.
If you were in his position, put yourself in Leon's shoes just for a quick second. He beats Kamaru Usman once, twice, in the space of 7 months. Would you then expect that you would be given more of a say on who you fight next, rather than the company saying, it's got to be this guy?
No, it's because the company is always going to override. Like they're bigger than the fighters. This is about the company that gave us all opportunities, man. They made him a millionaire. They made him, you know, a household name. And he's not even a household name, because if you came to America, not one person would recognize Leon Scott on the streets. They'd be like, oh, who's this guy? You'd just be walking by. No one would even look at him or pay attention. In the UK, he does have a fan base because they've promoted him out there and they've done good things for him. But, you know, besides that, the guy doesn't sell. He's not a draw. Look at his personality. He has no charisma. The guy, look at the way he talks. He's just so fake. He doesn't want to fight the top contenders in the world next in line. Like the fact that he's trying to pick and call his shots, like he's on the like he's, you know, runs the company, it's hilarious. So, you know, you need to listen and do what the company tells you. You know, this is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they make their decisions, and that's that. No, we don't really have, you know, say in that regard. And he shouldn't have say. I mean, if you're the champion, you think you're the best in the world, it's the next guy in line. Why are you afraid to defend against the next guy in line? Like, it doesn't sound like he's too confident in his abilities.
I suppose from his point of view, and we spoke to him a few weeks ago, he would say he doesn't believe you should be the next guy in line. That's what Leon would say.
And that's why no fans like him, because listen to the guy. I shouldn't be next. I've won every fight I've ever had. I'm the king of Miami. I've won a world title. Like, I've done things that he's never done in this sport, you know, and I've made history time and time again. So, I mean, just because he has an opinion and he's salty that he has to fight a guy that he knows he can't beat, I mean, he needs to deal with it, man. Soak it up. Enjoy having the belt. He doesn't even have the belt, bro. All he is a placeholder, and he knows that deep inside. If he knew he was so confident in his abilities, he'd come out and fight me. He'd fight me and defend in front of his home country. The fact that he denied the people of London an opportunity on a home field advantage at the O2 Arena again, he had 12, 14 weeks to prepare for the fight. And the fact that he's denying those people, those passionate electric fans that love so much over in the UK, the fact that he's denying that is despicable, and it's disgusting. And that's not the right act of a champion. And that's why he's nothing more. He's not a champion. He's nothing more than a placeholder.
Okay. Let's try and get some details out of this, because this was a couple of months ago. What has happened since then that makes you confident this is 100% going to materialize? Have you got dates? Have you got numbers? Where are we, Colby?
Yeah, so, you know, last time I had talked to the UFC, Dana White and the UFC brass over there, you know, they wanted to make the London card from an ESPN fight card to a pay-per-view, because they love the fans of London and the UK. They realize how passionate the fans are over there and how electric they are. They sell out arenas, and just the greatest fans in the world. They understand the sport and they respect the sport. So, you know, we respect them. We wanted to give them the biggest pay-per-view title fight show we could give them. But you know what? Leon is to blame for that. He said no. He's the only one that hold up. You know, UFC wanted it. They were begging for it to happen. I was begging for it. I'm ready to go anytime. I've been ready. I was ready to fight him last show in the UK if anything happened. So, I wanted to go back there and give those fans the show of their life. Like, I wanted to show them real entertainment, show them what this sport's all about, the best fighters fighting. But he turned it down. He said, "Oh, I need more time." It's disgusting. The fact that he turned down his home fans, man, I don't think they're going to be respecting and appreciating him too much for that.
Definitely some disappointment. Definitely some disappointment on that one. Look, he says he wants to be out in October in Abu Dhabi. We broke the story here on Sky Sports. I mean, does that sound good to you? Does that work for you, Colby?
No, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for the company. I'm a company man, so of course I'm going to do it anytime the company wants to do it. But they already have that card filled up with fighters from that region of the world that can fight over there. So Leon's not going to he doesn't get to call shots and just sit out for 8 months since his last fight. That's not how it works. I mean, he realized he sat out for 2 years and he got a title shot off beating a guy that was 50-50 at best in Nate Diaz. So he doesn't call the shots. He's acting delusional right now. He needs to come out here and fight as soon as possible and stop faking injuries, acting like he's hurt. Dude, he fought a shell of his former self in Usman. That guy's washed up, retired, like shouldn't be fighting anymore. You can see that he's just not the same fighter he was a couple years ago when I beat him in Madison Square Garden. So he doesn't call the shots. It's not going down in Abu Dhabi. It's going to be happening on U.S. soil. Now, he had an opportunity on the UK soil, and he turned down a home field advantage. Can you believe that? That's the best spot you were ever going to get, and you turned it down for your people. He doesn't care about the people. That's why I'm the people's champion, Nick, and I love the people UK, the people of America, the people of Australia, but that's why I respect the UK people, and I want to give them the biggest show. But you know what, Nick? I couldn't give them the show here, but I do promise the UK people right here live on Sky Sports today that after I beat Leon Edwards and get that world title, I'm coming back to defend my world title in UK because you guys deserve it. You guys deserve a pay-per-view world title fight.
Love it, man. Love it. I mean, that's what we want to see. We would love to see you over here. I just want to see us get past this impasse that we've hit. He's saying he wants to fight in Abu Dhabi in October. He's clearly not fighting anymore in July in London. You're saying it needs to be in America. So where does that leave us in terms of moving things forward and actually nailing down a date for a fight that people really want to see?
Yeah, the people all know that I'm ready anytime, anywhere, any place. It doesn't matter. I was ready to fight him on 2 days' notice when the UFC called me, and that's facts. And the UFC knows that deep down inside. They know I'm the real professional I am in the company, man. So if the UFC decides to go about business and they want to wait longer, I'm here for whatever the UFC wants to do. The UFC calls the shots. They run this multi-billion-dollar company that does so well. It's such a well-oiled machine. They've been doing such good business lately. I mean, look at the ratings with the Power Slap League. It's doing great. Ari Emanuel's killing it. Now we have WWE under the umbrella. So I want to do the biggest and best business for this company and whatever they want to do. But I know they're not going to want to wait till the end of the year. It doesn't make sense to wait till Abu Dhabi. And they have other fighters, that can fight in Abu Dhabi that are from that region. Let those guys get their home dates over there. Leon just turned down his home date. He had an opportunity to get a home date, and he turned it down. So, he doesn't get to call the shots to the UFC. I'm not sure where this is going to happen. That's up to Dana White and the big bosses over the UFC. That's above my pay grade. But, I will tell you right here, Nick, that I'm ready to go anytime, anywhere. And the sooner the better. That's all I can say is the sooner the better, because once I get that world title, then I'm bringing that belt back to the UK, and I'm going to defend it at the O2 Arena because I love that electric arena. I love the fans over there. And I'm going to come give you a show since Leon won't. He ain't a man of the people like myself.
Oh, man. Last couple from me because we've taken up so much of your some precious time here, Colby. You've been pushing to be the undisputed, unified welterweight champion for a while now. In your head, what is your vision for what the reign of Colby Covington as champion? What would that look like?
Yeah, my reign is right now. Everybody knows I am the undisputed champion right now. They know this is just a formality. I'm going to go get my belt off Leon soon in a couple months or however long he takes to fake more injuries. But, my reign will be long and it will be glorious. I'm finally in my prime, Nick. I took good care of my body. I'm not one of these fighters that I was a part-time fighter. Oh, I drank in between fights. So I went and partied my butt off to celebrate wins. No, I'm not a part-time fighter, Nick. I was a full-time 365, 24/7 fighter. I've been dedicated to my craft my whole entire life. Now I'm finally reaching my pinnacle in my prime of my career. I feel better than I've ever felt physically and mentally. So my reign will be glorious for the next couple of years. And You know, it will be for the people. It'll be a true champion that tests himself against the biggest and best fights that the fans want to see, where they want to see it, anytime, anyone, any place. And I'm going to solidify myself as the greatest welterweight of all time. That's what I came here to do, and I'm not going to leave until I have done that.
Okay, finally, Colby, if you wouldn't mind, we're going to make sure that this video gets through to Leon Edwards. What's your final message to the champ?
You know, my final message to Mumble Mouth, you know, he ain't a champ. He ain't nothing more than a placeholder. He knows he's not confident in his abilities. That's why he doesn't want to fight me. The next contender in line, the #2 fighter in the world, the guy who's the A side of this division anyways. He's nothing more than the B side. So, you know, come out here and take this ass whooping, bro. You can go back to fighting, you know, Street Judas Masvidal on the prelims. He'll come out of retirement to fight you on the prelims. Just come, give me that placeholder belt you got, and I'll see you soon, Mumble Mouth.
All right. Colby Covington, I got to say, as soon as I saw you on the scales in London, I was like, we got to talk to Colby. We got to get this interview doing. I got to say, didn't disappoint whatsoever. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we get some momentum going. We get a date, we get a fight. And yeah, next time you're in London, give us a heads up. Yeah, we'll show you some decent food.
I appreciate that, Nick. Much love and respect. Thanks for having me on today. And I'm going to definitely keep that in mind if when I come back to London to defend that title.